What is going on, everyone? This is Retro Jojo back again with another video. I'm sorry it's been so long since I've done a new video, but I thought I would dive a little bit into the Wii. I don't have all of the games, so if I miss any that you might find interesting, just let me know, because this idea actually came from a friend of mine. He reminded me that I was wanting to do kind of a spooky games video from all different platforms, consoles, whatever you want to call it. And he reminded me it's September, not October. I got to thinking about it, excuse me. And I figured he's right. I probably should wait until October to do kind of a more gritty, kind of creepy, gory kind of games. There might be a few on this list, because the Wii does have a couple of games of that to that nature. Or of that nature rather, but nonetheless, the Wii is one of the best consoles in my opinion. I've been playing a lot of it lately, so I thought I'd go over some games, and these are my picks, and some people may disagree with some of the picks that I might choose and where I put them and things like that, but we'll get to that when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. So starting out at 9 or 10 and 9, and this may come as a shock to people that know me, because I do have a lot of Star Wars memorabilia, and I even have Star Wars ink tattoos. So this may come as a shocker, but number 10 and 9 is Star Wars Force Unleashed 1 and 2 for the Wii. This is the front of the first one. And the first one was released in 2008, and the other one was released in 2010, the second one, respectively. I don't know if I can pick up both of these covers. Got pretty cool artwork on them, if I may say so myself. I think they're cool. But this first game follows Galen Merrick, aka Starkiller, aka Vader's apprentice, and it just has a more in-depth story. Like I said, the second one would come first in the ranking, last in the ranking. This is the better of the two, in my opinion. It has a deeper story, more in-depth gameplay. There's less button mashing. Some people like that. Some people don't. Every to each their own. I think on the Wii, if it can utilize some kind of the peripherals that were available for the games, then they've done something right. Right? In my opinion. That's just my opinion. Some people may disagree with that. But, because there's plenty of games that you could get on the virtual console that had a lot of, old school titles. It had a lot of old school titles that were just, I don't like to say shovelware, because a lot of them are classics. I even have some of them that I got for the Wii Virtual Console before the Wii Shop channel and all that was shut down. Games like Ocarina of Time and things like that. So there's a lot of games that you can play that utilize the classic controller, the GameCube controller. And I also want to mention right off the bat, if you had the first generation of Wii, you already had like 500 GameCube games that you could play, because it was backwards compatible, much like what the PS2 and PS3 did. So, but if you had the family one, I think it's like family mode or family home console version, you couldn't play GameCube games on it, and it didn't have any GameCube ports. The one that I actually have is the first one, and it has 4 controller ports for GameCube controllers and 2 memory card slots for the GameCube controller. For the GameCube memory card, excuse me. But get back to what I was saying about Force Unleashed. You get to fight characters like Shock T and Ram Koda, and he ends up being a very vital part. He was a general in the Clone Wars in Star Wars timeline, and he had his own militia and stuff like that. And Vader basically sends Starkiller out to hunt down Jedi. That's what he's supposed to do. And then, this is a spoiler, but Galen starts trying to go against it. Starkiller starts trying to go against it, and in that, him and Ram Koda, even though Galen Merrick, blinded him, with his lightsaber, hit him across the eyes and blinded him permanently. Um, so, yeah, it's just a really gripping story. He goes against Vader and the Emperor and everything, but at the end of this one, you don't really have a whole lot of room for choice. I mean, I guess maybe you can. I've always played it, and spoiler alert again, he saves his friends from being destroyed by the Emperor. There's a lot of crazy moments in this game. I mean, he can full on crush up chicken walkers, HESTs, into just rubble and slam them into the ground with the driver still inside. He stops a Star Destroyer and crashes it into the planet at one point. It's just a crazy ride from start to finish, and I highly recommend Force Unleashed 1. Or just Force Unleashed, Star Wars Force Unleashed. Now the second one, on the other hand, again, button mash, because you've got 2 lightsabers instead of just one, and I get what they were trying to do, but from my memory serves me right, on the Wii, you don't really get a lot of that swinging motion like a lightsaber. Because there were peripherals that had lightsabers. I had one at one point. It ended up getting broken, unfortunately. But you could cut the little light on in the end of it, and it had an actual lightsaber, blade looking thing, and then it had it felt like a lightsaber. But with this, it's just kind of, it's fun. It's a little bare bones. It follows his story after he's been supposedly, or well, not supposedly, but he's been killed off. But Vader cloned him. So his clone then goes on this, redemption story timeline again, and it just dragged on a little bit. The one on the PS, I think was it PS3 and 360, and then they, I think they put it out for modern consoles like HD. They do that with a lot of games. They did that with Bounty Hunter. It's on PS4 and things like that. But this game is the second one, I will say this for it, it's a lot better and a lot longer on those consoles. It has a lot more choice. Both games do, actually. But it's still a fun ride from start to finish, and I highly recommend it if you've never played it before. So that comes in at 9. Or no, excuse me. Yes, that one would be 10. Sorry, I got all confused with myself. It happens sometimes. It's not perfect. And then that one, the first one, would be number 9. So now, let's talk about the next game at number 8. So number 8 is Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Now I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh my gosh, you put Super Smash Bros. At number 8." That's because there's so many good games on the Wii that I had to put it there. It's not because it's a bad game or anything like that. You could play this. This even had Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, or you could play online. I never did that, but it has all your classic tropes for Smash Bros. It's a great game. It has a lot more unlockable characters than even Melee did. It has more characters, and the character models just look great. Of course, the music's great, and it's fun to play with friends. You've got all the modes like tiny mode, slow motion mode, turbo mode, all kind of stuff. Stamina mode, that was one of my favorites. One of my friends used to play that. And you've got Twilight Princess Link, and Samus looks more updated, and you've got Pit, I believe he was in Kid Icarus, and you've got Meta Knight from Kirby, and just things like that. Sonic, Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. You've just got a lot of good characters, and then you have finishers too. So each character can get the little thing that comes up. It's like the brawl symbol, or the Super Smash Bros. Symbol. My bad. And if they get it, then they can use their power or finishing move to, take out the other characters. So it's really fun. You got your home run contest and a multi-man melee, or not multi-man melee, the, where you fight the polygon dudes. You got that in this too. There's just a lot of good fun to be had with this one. So that's my number 8. Oh, and this also, I want to mention, came out in 2008. So now at number 7, another one that's going to be controversial for a lot of people. This is Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And this game is a lot of fun. But the reason why it's so low is I actually prefer the GameCube version. I know, I prefer it over the Wii version. It's true. It's one of those games I like playing it with the controller better. And I played just about every subsequent Zelda game that I've ever played personally with a controller. So maybe that's why Link's sword and shield arm is switched on the Wii from the GameCube. Doesn't make that big of a deal or difference. Rather, it's just how I prefer to play it. But you play as Link, and you meet Midna, and if you know anything about Twilight Princess, you've got the fight with King Bulbin, and you've got there's a couple of those actually. You've got great temples. There's a couple that weren't so good to me. I actually have to make a confession. I've never finished this game, but I am going to finish it on GameCube since I own the GameCube version now. I'm closer to finishing it on the GameCube than I am on the Wii. But it just had gorgeous graphics, nice art style. Just what I played of it, it's very engaging and very fun. Not great weapon upgrades. I mean, you've got like explosive arrows and things like that. You've got just a lot of improvements over a lot of other, if you look at what I'm saying, if you look at like the first Zelda to where this came and then where they're at now, just graphic wise, those games the other ones are still classics. Like I love Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. A lot of people say that's an old game. It's an old one, but it's still a golden one. It's still good. Oldie but a goodie, as some people say. It's still good. And so is this game. This game is just solid. I really enjoyed it, and Nintendo just really did a great job with atmosphere too. That's another thing in this game. Like when you play Twilight Princess, you get the atmosphere of each and every area that you visit, and it's just a beautiful game. It's so much fun. You play, and you can also play as Wolfling, and then you can like sense stuff and dig, and you can like see the spirits of these people, and they're all like scared of these other worldly shadow creatures from the Twilight Realm, and it's just so much fun. So if you haven't played Twilight Princess, I highly recommend it. So that is number 7. Now at number 6, getting up there. Number 6 is Ghost Squad. Yes, Ghost Squad. This game, I actually found this game by accident. At a retro, it's kind of a, not retro, but it was a gaming store. They had, older games and newer games. And I found this game, and it's put out by Sega in 2006. So, a little bit, but anyway, this is like an arcade style game. It's a rail shooter. It gives you a lot in the way of choice in this game. Now it's not going to blow your your head back and blow your socks off and just wow. It's not anything like what we have with graphics nowadays, where it looks like it's AI generated, like it's just completely human looking, in the way that it's detailed. But this game is fantastic. You make your own decisions. It'll come up and give you like decisions. A lot of older rail shooters did that at the time, and an arcade shooters, which are similar. But I'm glad that we got this on the Wii, because it's like squad based, and you've got, you don't shoot the hostages, shoot the terrorists or bad guys. It's just a lot of fun. It's just a solid first-person rail shooter, and it has a lot of similarities with something. If anybody's familiar with Time Crisis or things of that nature, a lot of similarities here. So if you have a Wii, recommend you pick up Ghost Squad. Now we're getting down to the bottom. Number 5. Number 5 would be Gunblade New York City and LA Machine Guns Rage of the Machines Arcade Hits Pack. Say that 2 times twice. These 2 games, I actually played this in Daytona Beach, Florida, at a arcade on the pier, or on the strip right there in Daytona. And it was a lot of fun. It has, if you can see it, I don't know if you can see it, that's how the arcade machines looked. And I thought it was cool. They put it with a mound of bullets around the bottom of both of them. Really great games. And they're not graphically, they're not gonna, like I said, like the Ghost Squad one. This game came out in 07, and it's classic arcade games. So don't expect, just because I recommend it does not mean that it's going to be on par with something graphically like I mentioned with Twilight Princess or something like that. But it's still a great little arcade pack. If you want to pop something in and shoot some baddies, this is the game for you. And you get, it's kind of like you're in like a mech aircraft type of thing, or you're on an aircraft thing. It has that perspective. You're always moving. So if you have motion sickness, I don't recommend this game. If you have motion sickness, don't play this, because you will probably get sick from the movement. If you don't destroy an enemy like behind you or to the side of you, and there's another enemy in front of you, it's going to turn you around and kind of have you take that enemy out and then move to the next one, or flip you back around. So don't play it if you have motion sickness. But both of these games are solid and just a lot of fun. You're taking out like mechanized terrorists that are invading the U.S. First one's in New York, or no, excuse me. The first one listed here is in New York. The other one, obviously, LA Machine Guns, is in LA. Just a lot of fun, and that's why I recommend these. So next up, 5. No wait, I think I just messed up, everybody. This is number 4. That was number 5. Lord, getting a little out of order here, ain't I? The next game on the list is Mad World. Yes, Mad World. Now, I want to say this before I talk about this game. If you have a child or young kids, this is not the game on the Wii for them. This game is very much a mature title. It does have some language, but just the art style and excuse me, the brutality of this game. There's some not execution, but like finishers in this game that are very brutal, and you can chain stuff together just to take out down your enemies. You're basically this guy. He plays Jack, and he's got like a chainsaw attached to his arm, as you can see in the cover art. Kind of see the chainsaw, and he's voiced by the guy that I cannot remember his name, but that used to do, if anybody remembers Toonami, this is him. So that makes it even more fun for me. Grew up watching Toonami on Saturdays. I watch Toonami. This is also says 0708. So basically, the premise of this game, you go through. It's kind of like a Rikers Island type of feel to it, but it's like a game show, and everybody's fighting for their life. It's kind of like a I wouldn't say Manhunt, because Manhunt's and Manhunt 2 are totally different games in their own right. But they did take some. The creator of this, I've learned recently, actually did take some notes from that same vein, or from that same premise. But what stands this game apart from other games? And if you can't tell, the cover's black and white. That's exactly how the entire game is. It's very cartoony. It's black and white, kind of that noir look, and it encapsulates the gore in the game with that look, because when you attack enemies or finish enemies, there's just the screen is basically red. It's the best way I can put it. Keeping it family friendly here. Fun game, again, not for the kiddies, but if you like these kind of games and you're into stuff like this, then I highly recommend Mad World. You won't regret playing it. It's a fun game. So yeah. And next up, one I just recently finished playing. This is our number 3 spot. Another rail shooter. But again, don't let that put you off, because this is a great game. This is a prequel game to actually a game series I did not get to play back in the day because of the rating when it was released. I wasn't supposed to play it. And now I understand why my parents didn't technically want me to play them. Some of the M-rated titles that were coming out at the time. But they're just fantastic games. I've watched people play them. I've had friends that have played them. This is Dead Space Extraction. This is the prequel to like the rest of the games that came out. So it was released in 2009. EA put it out, and it got an E3 2009 Editor's Choice finalist from GameSpot. That's on the front of the artwork right here. So that's really cool. That's an achievement there. But you kill these necromorphs in this game that are like reanimated corpses, and it's like this. It's kind of like The Thing. If you've ever seen any of those movies, from the original to the one with Kurt Russell, I don't even talk about the remake. But anyway, if you've seen either one of those, that's this. There's really gnarly creatures in it. You get this like blade cutter gun and then you can like turn it sideways, and it'll do like a charge shot for like putting bolts and like heating them up and making them stay to like close off a door and things like that. And you have this like telekinesis power. You can grab like pickups and stuff. Just a lot of fun. And it's fun with someone else playing with you too. I haven't done that myself. My other Wii remote actually ended up going on the fritz, so I play a lot of these games myself, which is fine. I don't mind playing alone. It's fun to have someone watch you and kind of, man, I've never seen something like this, or man, this is really cool, or something like that, or just to sit there and kind of watch you and get engrossed in the world that you're playing in as much as you are. But you just rip these necromorphs, that's what they're called in the game, to shreds in this game with different weapons, but you're like basically like a mining agent. It's in the future. I think it's like if you didn't ask me, it's 2056 or something like that. And it's awesome. Very, like I said, very The Thing inspired, and it's just so much fun. So that's why it's at number 3. Love that game. And the ending was just fantastic. I didn't even see it coming. When it happened, I was like, what in the world just happened to my main character, to my guy? I've been playing as him the whole time. And then with the ending, oh man. And the ending, one of the ending sequences, oh my gosh, it was so hard. It was difficult for me. So I almost died multiple times playing that Dead Space Extraction. But now at number 2, this is one that's near and dear to my heart because I found it at a place, I believe it was in Fitzgerald, Georgia. And I found this, or it might have been Hazelhurst. Anyway, one of the two. I think it was Hazelhurst. And it was just a little, it's still there. It's a little shop. I guess it's like family owned or something like that. But I found this, and it was on the cheap. So I picked it up. And let me tell you, a friend of mine, who I haven't had contact with for a couple of years now, he moved away to Texas, which is unfortunate. But he had a birthday party, and I went with my then girlfriend, at the time. And when I left his birthday party, I went home and popped this game in. I didn't stop playing it until 2 or 3 in the morning. And luckily it was a weekend. This is Resident Evil, The Umbrella Chronicles. Wow, wow, and more wow. This game is a lot of fun. Now, some people don't like rail shooters. This is another rail shooter. I actually prefer that. A lot of people are gonna think I'm crazy to the like. I definitely prefer it to like 5 and 6. I've watched people play 5 and 6, and I'm just like, that's not Resident Evil though, because I played the first one, bits and pieces of it, and played through parts of it, didn't finish it. I played Nemesis, I played Code Veronica and things like that. The newer ones are not Resident Evil. Now the newer ones that have come out recently, I'm talking PS3 and 360 era. 5, 6, Operation Raccoon City, Lord have mercy, Call of Duty clone, anybody? Definitely a Call of Duty clones, just, anyway. But this game is not that. This game is awesome. You play through different scenarios and timelines throughout. That's why it's Umbrella Chronicles, of course. Put out by Capcom in 2007, looks like. So that's cool. But you play through different scenarios in different timelines. So like there's parts of Resident Evil 0, and I think some parts of Nemesis and things of that nature. So that's really cool. You get to fight a giant snake at one point in this game that's like a zombified snake or something like that. It's crazy. There's giant spiders, there's zombie monkeys, there's all kind of stuff in this game. It's not just zombies with the T-virus. It's all kind of stuff that you're fighting against in this game. You can even play as Albert Wesker, one of my favorite characters in the whole series. So even though he's a baddie, he's a bad guy. Not a baddie. I didn't mean to sound like, anyway. But even though he's a bad guy, love him to death, man. He spoiler alert, in the game, he puts the T-virus in himself. So it actually gives him like superhuman abilities. And somehow he still retains a lot of his human, physique and looks and everything else. But he didn't get a lot of it. It was like, I guess like you could say like synthetic T-virus or something like that. I don't know exactly. I'm not a connoisseur of Resident Evil. I just recently started playing a lot of the games. I know, shocker, right? I love games like this. But it's a great game. And there's another one called Dark Side Chronicles. I played a little bit of it when I had PlayStation Plus, and it was okay. But, man, this one was the one that I stayed up late playing on weekends, trying to get that high score and, good accuracy and everything else. There's a lot of weapon upgrades in that game, and there's a lot of good boss battles, so just knocks it out of the park for me. Now at number 1, and this is going to be a little biased, but excuse me. This is going to be a little biased because this is a game that's near and dear to me, both of them. The third one, not as much as the second one. This is another 2-pack, but I don't have the cover art for this, unfortunately, because I had a copy of it that was my brother's, and it was sent back to him because I was playing it way too much. Wasn't doing some of the things I needed to be doing. I was playing this game, along with some other ones that I think I borrowed from him. But this is none other than House of the Dead 2 and 3 Returns. When I tell you that these two games right here, are, especially the second one, were pivotal. I played this a lot when I was in school, weekends and stuff. Even freaked out one of my friends playing it. The second one is very cheesy and quirky. The third one's very fast-paced and just. But you play as what was his name? That he plays one of the agents in the game. His name has slipped my mind right now. Is it Rogan? Yeah, you play as Rogan in the second one, and it's a rail shooter, very gory. Not a lot of language in this one. Good music, good soundtracks, in either game. Very cheesy dialogue. That's what this is known for. And if you like cheesy B movies, specifically B horror movies, play this, because this game is very much. It's not very scary. It's very much just fast-paced gunning enemies down. And the whole premise about it is, you find out in the third one, if you play through both of them, is Dr. Curian was trying to find a cure, because it goes back to the first game with the third one. They unfortunately didn't release the first one on the Wii, which I wish they would have, even as an extra on this disc. you know, just so you could have something to say, hey, I beat 2 and 3, and I'm going back and playing the first one. Those are just my thoughts. Maybe they couldn't do that. And I got this really cheap at GameStop in Valdosta. It was, for both games, it was like $14, $14.99, $15. That's not too bad. I feel like I did a good, did good getting it. So, but anyway, he's trying to save his son from death. And in order to do that, he comes up with these, like, experiments. And, yeah, they go awry. And we have some not really zombies, but not really human anymore. They're kind of like in between life and death. And then you have the experiments where he was trying to make like robot versions of those characters, or people, I mean. And then you have a bunch of different bosses in the game. It's a lot of fun. I recommend both these games. And graphically, they're not to par, because again, they're older games that came out. The second one was '98, and the third one was, I don't even remember. And the third one, funny enough, is set in 2019. Very post-apocalyptic looking. Worst thing we had then was the virus, everybody knows about, COVID-19. But not like it's depicted in the third entry of House of the Dead. So I don't know, what they were doing. But a lot of fun with both of these. Very fond memories with these two games here. So that's my number one pick. But now, I want to talk just briefly, not really long, about 4 more games. So, honorable mention number 1, we have Cabela's Big Game Hunter. This was a gift at Christmas from my brother, one of my brothers. And I didn't know if I would like it or not, but I actually ended up liking it. It's kind of like Dangerous Hunts in a way, but in a way it's kind of like very much like you're actually hunting. You get to just do all kind of stuff like putting things out for them to find, and then you wait, and there's a lot of strategy that you can do in this, and that's why it's honorable mention here. A lot of different games too. So if you're into, it fell, everybody, game down. But there's a lot of different game in that game. So if you like hunting games, or if you like the arcade ones back in the day, that's not going to be your thing. I will say that, because I did like Big Buck Hunter. Me and my dad used to play that one together. Every time we went on the road, if there was an arcade in a Walmart, we played it. If it was like, Walmart not just open, but if they had just kind of set everything up and opened the arcade, we'd go in there and play for a minute and do a couple little things and hang out, get some breakfast, and hit the road. So we didn't play very long, but we had our own little thing going. So he always tried to do stuff with me, even if we were on the road together, which I'm grateful for that. But next honorable mention is Red Steel. So Red Steel, everybody says Real Steel. It's red. See how the cover's red? Yeah, it's Red Steel. Very Japanese kind of Kill Bill-esque. If you like Kill Bill, you'll like this. You get to use different guns and swords, like katanas and things like that. So Red Steel, check it out. Lots of fun. Just play it with my brother. Next one is Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. I know a lot of people love this game. I do too, but I have not finished it. So play as Samus Aran, and you get these different pieces of the, I guess, corrupted suit. Like I said, I haven't finished it yet. So I haven't, but what I have played of it, I really thoroughly enjoyed this game. So I'll have to go back and maybe we'll do a Let's Play of it. Next two are going to make a lot of people really mad probably at me. But that's alright. I got this game really cheap, and I'm actually glad that I got this really cheap. I got this for $8. Can't even remember where I got it from. But anyhow, got this for $8. It might have been Video Game Rescue in Jacksonville. They normally had really good prices on lots of things. Bought a couple of stacks of games from them, but this is another honorable mention. This is Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition. I actually do have the GameCube version of this game, and I have not completed either one, this one, the Wii version, or the GameCube version. So that's why it's here, not because the story content and all that is really bad. Just haven't had a lot of time to invest in this one. So considering that the GameCube one comes on 2 discs, so this is must be a very lengthy game. And it takes a little bit like more crazy, villagers than it does zombies. So it's really cool. I have to check it out and play some more of that one. And the last one, Sin and Punishment Star Successor. My friend Courtney actually gave me this game, and she wanted me to play it, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I played it, and I do like it, but I have not finished it. That's the only reason why it's here. It's not because it's a terrible game. It's not because it's a bad game. It's a very fun, engaging. It's kind of like a first-person shooter, but it's like over-the-shoulder perspective. You move the character around with the nunchuck and things like that. You will have to have a nunchuck for it, and it is 2-player. So it's a beautiful game, beautiful art style, and I'm very happy that she allowed me to play this game because it's a lot of fun. So those are my picks, everybody, and I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I have making it. Also, I want to mention that, I don't know if you can camera pick it up, but I have my own shirts that my wife normally makes them, Jessica. If you would like a shirt, any color or style, we have vinyl and we can get a shirt and make it for you. Let me know. Would love to make Retro JoJo shirts. It's not like copyright or anything. It's just to get my name out there. I'm just trying to spread my, my channel. I would love to have my own, like, not clothing brand, but, like, just for my channel, just kind of like how game stores make their own shirts. That's what this is. I'm just for fun. And there wouldn't be an arm and a leg or anything like that. So if you would like one, let me know. If you don't, then that's fine. But I hope everyone stays safe and has a great one.